Hello, everyone. Welcome to Date Chat. This is LICMC Radio. Irene with CBiz Media. Thank you for coming in and joining us this evening as we chat. We're talking about all different type of topics when it comes to love. We have special guests on the line with us. Whenever she's ready to chime in, we will introduce her. But we have Miss London on the line with us right now. Miss London, are you there?
Hello, I'm here.
Great, awesome. So are you ready to get into a little love chat this evening?
Okay.
Okay. Well, I wanted to let people know that this is actually Poetry Month, and I did want to highlight some poems, some inspirational and some that have topics of love, but some that are just inspirational to share. So I did want to kind of start out a little bit with that as well. But for those of you that don't know me, I'm Irene with CBiz Media. We talk about faith, love, and trends on our podcast. And I'm also a part of LICMC Radio. And we have radio programming available on LICMC Radio, faith based ministry, community, music, a little bit of everything for every taste. We have that available on LICMC Radio. And we have shows like this where we have the community come on and chime in and share their thoughts on different topics. And we have a lot of fun. Um, I'm not sure. I think Michelle, for some reason, not is not able to connect with us for some reason. As I see something on the chat. Well, if you want, Michelle, you can try to go back in, come out and go back in if possible. If not, thank you for trying to come in with us. But I'm gonna see if I can respond to her and ask, Miss London, if she can kind of start us off with what are some of your thoughts? I know that you kind of had a topic that you were interested in getting into. So, what would you like to talk about this evening?
You lead that conversation because I don't. I was just talking. I wasn't ready to kind of put everything out like that yet until we get
Well, just tell them a little bit about yourself in LICMC Radio. If you could do that while I'm trying to connect with the possible guest.
there. Just the owner of LICMC.net radio, 24/7 radio station, live stream. You can have a program. It's the same live stream that all professional radio stations have. They run 24/7. And also it can be heard globally all over the world. It can be heard in your location, your city, your town, your state, and other places in our country. So that's LICMC.net radio. Also, now that we have all these social media things that we do, anybody that decides they want to come on to have their own radio show will also automatically receive the benefits of being on all the platforms that we have simultaneously. So become on LICMC.net radio. You also, if you wish to be seen or seen or heard, become on LICMC.net radio, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, X really, and also YouTube. And we have another great station that we have, and it's stream.com/London, where we have access to up to 50 channels. Right now, we have about 33 channels that are active, and you can go on there and check out other people's channels that are running 24/7. So it's a TV live stream station network with channels that are available for people that would like to have their own channel. And also with the channel, you can have your shows that run 24/7, just like going to a channel, any channel, TV channel, and it'll always run on there. But at the same time, you can go live on the channel as well if you're doing a live program. So all these things connect, and we really are thankful to be able to have these platforms, be able to do all these things. So if you're interested, like Miss Irene said, you can give us a contact or a shout out and get started. You can just come up with your own idea, as a matter of fact, and we can help you get that idea, make it come to reality. Some people already have shows in other places they're on with us as well. But if you are brand new and you want to do something more than do a podcast, you can come with us. Actually, bring your top podcast to us, and we can turn it in to so many other things for you to watch, listen, and hear. That's it.
Well, excuse me. Well, thank you so much, Miss London, for sharing that presentation with those that are watching. I want to thank everybody that is available to stop in and watch, and remind you that you can be a part if you would like to be a part of our chats. We do this off and on. If you join us on licmc.net radio on Facebook, we will let you know in advance, hey, we're going to have a date chat this evening. It's usually on Saturday evenings, so that will be the time where you guys can hang out with us and we can do this. But we also have other projects. We have our virtual services on Sundays at 1 p.m. Um, we have a biblical coffee fix on first Thursdays at 7 p.m. So we have multiple ways that you guys can be a part of the programming here. And like Miss London was saying, you can get your own channel. You can represent your own ministry. You can represent your own podcast. You can represent your own business, whatever you're into or what you would like to do or share with the community. This is a platform where you can do that. And we welcome you in and welcome you to be a part. And while we're here, I do want to shout out Miss London's book, Body and Soul. We recently were able to stop by um, the Rosa Cafe in Detroit. Shout out to Eric. And he let us share the information about the books. The books, you can get them a download at londondoors.gumroad.com. You can also get a physical copy if you connect with us, but I'm going to put this email here. If you're interested in knowing more about Body and Soul, it's a health and wellness booklet, and we're inviting you guys to check it out. And it supports us here at LICMC Radio as well as Miss London. Can you tell them a little bit about Body and Soul?
Yep, Body and Soul is talks about encouraging information about health, but a lot of natural things about health or organic, and also the information stems from my childhood with different things that my parents did as I was growing up, and I remember those things all to this day that they have done. And so it's kind of like a holistic view of doing some things to help yourself, maybe to be an intervention, or also just to enhance your healthy part of your life. So it's informational, and I would say that it works. So that's what it's about mainly.
Yes, it works. She has firsthand knowledge of this. So you're getting a testimonial from her and her life experiences as well, and the family as well, that a lot of these things that God has blessed her to get from her family, from her parents. And that's just like a generational blessing to be able to, have that passed down and then passed down again and then passed down to our generation. It's just a blessing. It's just beautiful how God can bless you in different ways, because how we can be an heir of something, and your family may have small fortune, or but if your family doesn't have a small fortune, there's other amazing things that your family can pass down to you, and there's also some detrimental things we can pass down to each other. But it's a blessing to have something like this, that your health is your wealth, and it's a very important part of life. So when you think about just the blessing it is to have this passed down from generation to generation, now passed down to you, um, if you want to know and learn more about beneficial ways to live your life, a healthy lifestyle, um, healthy tips that are not damaging to your body. So it's got all of these things in here for you to check out and for you to be blessed by and to bless others as well if you would like to. So thank you, Miss London, and we thank God for this project that He's blessed you with. And I want to invite you guys to check out my project called Why I Didn't Get Married. And I talk about my story and past relationships and just how things worked and didn't work. And it's also here too to kind of be a blessing to you. Maybe you can reflect, maybe you can learn lessons, maybe you can agree or disagree with my story. And if you have any questions about anything, there's that email address right there. You can check me out on Spotify anytime. Faith, Love, and Trends. We review shows and programs that have to do with love as well, and other content. We also have great guests on as well. So we're a love and faith based program that you can listen to anytime on Spotify. Check us out at our website at cbiztvmedia.com. That's cbiztvmedia.com. And if you again missing information, I'm leaving that email address right here so you guys can connect with us and learn more about my project. Why I didn't get married. But like a lot of times, if certain things don't work out in relationships and dating and life, I feel like God has a master plan, and it's the reason for why things turn out the way that they turn out. But I'm gonna get into one of these poems and give Miss London a moment. So I know she may have something that she wants to share with us. But it's Poetry Month, guys. So I just wanted to drop some poems from some friends. This one comes from James McCurry. Check out his book. You can find it on Amazon. It's called Truth and Poetry. That's Truth and Poetry, Truth Made Known. And this one, I'm going to read part of it. It's called Love. Do you mean it? Love is a word that you hear all the time, but the action behind it is hard to find. Can you trust the one who says, I love you? Or do you think their words aren't really true? I've tried to find love that were honest and real. This is the type of love I desire to feel. I've had many to say they love me. Foolish I was to accept and believe. Stop saying you love me and you know it's a lie. I need someone I can trust and rely. Too many times I've been let down, looking for the love I thought I had found. If you don't love me, just tell me the truth. The game of love is only mental abuse. The love I need is the love I want to share. And you guys can hear more or read more if you guys check out that book, Truth and Poetry, Truth Made Known by James McCurry. And this particular poem is Love Do You Mean It? It has poems in it, and it also has it has some biblical information as well. So it's got a few different things in there if you want to check it out. All right, Miss London, are you ready to chime in with some love chat conversation and what's on your mind when it comes to dating and love and all of that at this time?
Well, first of all, I just wanted to tell you that you're live on CBiz Media on your channel. While you were talking, I was making you go live on the TV channel stream.com. So I'm going to share it, and you'll be able to see that on Facebook too. You can watch it on Facebook regularly, or you can go right to the stream channel. That's all I wanted to say.
Well, thank you. And I got the information up there about the Stream channel. But I want to ask you, what did you think about that poem by Mr. James McCurry? Elder McCurry.
That was his point.
Yes, that's from his book that you can find on Amazon.
Talking about that love.
Yes, it is.
Oh, I didn't know. Wow. Okay, I was trying to do this. Well, I will say some of that is certainly true. I like the part he says you saying that you love somebody, but you really don't want that part. I mean, so like people are so quick to say, "I love you, I love you, I love you," but I think we need to find out what their definition of love is. I think I start thinking about that. You know, sometimes like you're not showing me the kind of love that I'm showing you. So you know, I'm trying to figure out, how are you going to love somebody and but you don't treat them as such. So a lot of that is a lot of truth to that. I would say. I think a
Yes,
lot
it
of
is. I
people.
think a lot of people can relate to the message of that story. It's like love, like where is it? Is it real? I've seen false love. I've seen counterfeits. Where's the real and the true love? And love looks like this to me, but what is it to you? And it seems like people may have agendas of what is really love. And so that's a question that a lot of people are asking themselves, through life. And I think a lot of people can relate to that story. But I'm glad and blessed that God has helped me to find love in different ways. If it's not romantic love, of course, I have the love of God in my life. I have family love. And, I've had fake friends, I've had fake romantic people in my life. But I'm glad that God has a source of real love for us to tap into so we won't feel like all is lost when it comes to the world of love. But yes, I can completely relate to the sentiment of that poem. And I'm gonna get do another poem, but again, I want to see if Miss London had anything particular that she wanted to talk about when it comes to love and relationships.
Each person's definition of love might be a different thing. When some people do say that they love you, they might really think they love you, but they love you their way. But I think we need to define what love really is and how you treat someone. If you love someone, how how you supposed to treat somebody. I thought that if you care for one person and do everything that you can and share all of you with them, then they should be doing the same thing for you. But sometimes it's just kind of a one-sided situation where people maybe look at it, they love you, they love what you have. Do they love you for you, or do they love you for what you have? Or do they love you for what they can get? What kind of love is it? So um when you get that kind of thing, you're gonna say, well, you don't really love me. So, but then maybe they think they love you that way, but really and truthfully, if you break it down, you'll find out that there's other reasons why somebody might want to be affiliated with you. And actually, that happened to me in life, more than one occasion. Some people get excited about you and they might like how you look, might like what you do. Then if you have something that they're intrigued about, it could be your job or your education or your businesses or whatever that you might be doing. Well, that kind of love went as far as saying, let's get married. But more than one occasion, it's like it wasn't any problem asking for somebody asking to get married, but the other one it wasn't right. You know what I mean? It wasn't like the marriage is supposed to be. It was for other reasons. So in those cases, I'm glad I didn't get married to those folks because later on, if you date for a little while, hopefully you'll find out exactly what's in a person's heart. Now, it seemed to me that it didn't take real long for me to find out what was in some of these people's heart. Like one guy was one planning to get married. I think we maybe have been together. I mean, it could have been a few months, 2 or 3. It might have been 3, 4 months or whatever. Then I had gotten a new car, and it was my very first new car. And And so I'm saying, okay, he wants to be with me because why? He wants to drive my car. He said we're gonna get married, this, and this. And he said, I want you to put my name on the title. And I immediately pulled back and said, no, I worked too hard to be giving my credibility to somebody else. But you're not even my husband yet. So that was one situation. I saw he wants to be around you for your things in your car. Put his name on it. And then another person, and I will say, they asked me. They didn't say it. They just said, well, they were actually looking at what I do, which I didn't really think that I wasn't advanced as I am now, but I guess they saw the potential, and I really thought that they were more advanced than I was for the years they were doing what they were doing. And he told me, "Say, yeah, we're gonna get married." And he said, "And if you die, then I'm gonna get your business." He had nerve, the audacity, and the nerve to tell me that. I was like, so that didn't sound like no love to me. Like, so we just had to be aware of why people say they love you, and they even go as far as wanting to get married to you. Because, and now that I'm thinking about it, that could lead to murder. If you want to get deep with it, when I die, so why would you want me dead? Why would you even bring that up? So he said, when you die, that it'll be mine after we get, once we get married. I mean, how do I know you're not gonna knock me off? So, a lot of people don't talk and express themselves and tell what they really feel. The smarter ones do. But I really like it when somebody just really just starts to talk and let me know who they are. And that, wow, the Lord just kind of helped me remove myself from those type of situations. So I'm sure that there is some real love out there, but there's a whole lot of stories that a lot of us can tell that it's kind of maybe the opposite, or it contradicts when that person say that they love you. So what Elder McCurry was talking about, if you love me but you don't act like it, I don't know what he was saying. And I also seen love, people that say they love you, I've been married, when that love seemed more like hate. I'm like, what kind of what kind of stuff is this? Okay, it's very one-sided. So it's a lot to talk about when it comes to love. Is very interesting. Relationships are very interesting. So
Yes, it is. And I do want to ask you a little bit about some lessons you might have learned through these experiences, because some of this is sound like a Lifetime movie, and you know, we want to know, like, what did you get from out of all this, and we also want to just celebrate the fact that God brought you through these situations as well. And before you kind of give us some lessons, like what lessons you may have learned from some of these experiences, I do want to shout out Big Money Roy. He's going to be coming on at 7:30 p.m. Right here on LICMC Radio. But our chat and conversation will continue here at Date Chat. But if you want to listen in on licmc.net radio, tune in to our friend Big Money Roy. He comes on every Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Coming on shortly, so you can check that out. But I know I kind of set Miss London up to kind of tell us what she has learned from her relationships and some stories she just shared with us. So I'm going to give the mic to her in a moment so she can just kind of let us know and share some lessons with us. But I'm going to share some lessons. There's a few lessons that I may have learned because I'm trying to live the Christian lifestyle, and we're in a world, even when I was young and now that I'm older, it's worse. But we're in a world where, a lot of people don't want to really hear that. And even some of our people that are Christian and in church are also, they don't want to hear that. They want to, I say some, not all, they kind of want to do the traditional dating lifestyle, and I feel like dating can have a bad connotation to it, but it's all depends on how you want to date. You can set the rules. You can date in a way that is respectful, and you keep your values and whatnot about you. But the traditional standard way of dating is just we hook up after a few dates and see if we like each other physically, and You know, we may not really get to know each other. We don't really ask all these deep questions, but we kind of do some deep things and we get really intimate and close, but we really don't really know each other. And we're just kind of having fun and see what's going to happen. And, especially for people of faith, it's like, you have to date with a purpose. You can't just date just to see what's going to happen, date just because it seems fun. Of course, those are elements you do want to enjoy yourself, but if you're with somebody that is definitely not on the same page with you, their idea of fun is a different idea that doesn't match yours, and it may seem like it could be trouble for you, then, you see that person's not on the same page, you can amicably say, it was nice meeting you, but I'm going to move on respectfully. And so dating is a process of purpose and trying to meet that person that God has for you. It's not a process of, oh, let's just have fun and see what's going to happen. If we end up in each other's beds, so be it. If we end up doing this and that, so be it. Um, that's kind of the climate of dating that we see in the world, in our world today. And it can be kind of difficult if you're not trying to live that lifestyle. If you have another agenda, if you want to keep the morals and values that you have, it can be really difficult out here to meet somebody to even get to know, because when, sometimes they find out, okay, this is my lifestyle. And it's like, well, I still want to drink sometime. I still want to get smoke something. Like, I don't know if we're compatible. Like, I actually had a guy say that to me, and I was like, well, I don't do that, but I don't judge people on their lifestyle, but I don't do that. And the guy didn't want to talk to me anymore, and he did me a favor. But I want to ask Miss London, from your relationships, what lessons have you learned through all of this?
Well, I guess you're always still learning. You get there some kind of way. Uh, I would say part of my of being not being aware of relationship. I always talk about how to be a good wife, how to be this, how to do. Then I'm just one of those kind of people that, if I'm going to be in a relationship, and which I thought it was supposed to be a two-way street, that I give and I do, and what I do and what I get is going to be for my partner. And I thought it was going to be vice versa. So I did get a chance to see a lot of other things that was going on that I was really kind of shocked and surprised about. And I guess that's where the learning process comes in. One thing that I do tell people nowadays, since things are so broad today, uh, if you're a Christian or you have certain guidelines that you have in your life, that you should ask questions to the person that if somebody's that wanted to be with you, and if you feel something there, I think you should give them an interview. That's what I think nowadays. Find out what a person likes. Just don't fall head over heels and okay, hugging and kissing and then having a good time. The good part, the fun part, that's the attractiveness and the beauty and the handsomeness and uh the engagement, and then also, like I said, just being even going as far as being intimate with one another. But once if you see that you're getting caught up in this thing, before you get too deep, I think you should do an interview. I think she should interview him and he should interview her, and that everybody be just right up front about who they are, what they do, what they like, what they don't like. And that even includes uh intimacy, the type of intimacy that a person will have, the preference of what a person will do in relationship, how far do you, if they're a person that has different behaviors outside of what we would call standard, you find out what that is. And also find out if the person, some of these people, like, they do treat you nice, and they really love you, but then you find out they treat other people nice, and they love and whatever all it is. Try to find out if a person may even like a swinging relationship, a mixed relationship. Is all that love that they're saying they're gonna give you, is it just for you, are they gonna be sharing that love with somebody else? It's just a whole lot of questions to ask today. So
I'm
I agree
glad
with
that you asked that question too, because we're going to talk about a couple of celebrities as well in a moment. But I want you to finish your thought.
you. Yeah. So that that's what I learned, and I've that would be advice that for me, and I think I had mentioned that to someone else too. That was close to me, and I said, we need to you could find out who they are, find out so you'll have surprises. With surprises still could come, but at least do your find out what's going on, and then so if you go into the relationship, at least you know what the relationship is about, and you won't be like totally caught off guard if you know that you're gonna be with a guy or a girl that likes to have other partners along with you. Because sometimes you don't know all these things until you get deep into the relationship. Come to find out, these people like to do other things, and they're really saying that I love you though. So and it's really interesting. It's a lot of questions you can ask to kind of clear up the ear, and I do believe that I don't believe if you ask that the truth is finally going to come out. At least asking anyway. And then once you find out that people have other preferences that you are not aware of, or that that are not standard, but if you find out about it, and then if you want to get into a relationship, then it's still up to you. Because some people know, that once they find out, sometimes they still are together. But then it's by choice, not by surprise. So I'm telling you. So if you ask questions, do an interview to whoever that you are really seriously in. That's if you're serious about them, you know. And I guess now, just for dating, you probably should ask some, get another level of questions for the dating platform too. So are we going to be friends with benefits? Are we just going to be friends? Are we going to start off being friends? Are we going to just be lunch mates? Or are we going to go to a courtship? It's 1,000 questions to answer.
It
But
is.
yeah, but at least you will be clear on what it's all about. And once again, like I said, you won't go in the shop, you know. And I really think too, dating is it's nice if you know yourself. So that's another thing I learned. As when I was younger, I still was beginning to. I know how I was. If I love you, I'm gonna love you totally. Period. You know, and what I do for you, I'm gonna care for you. I cook. I'm the kind of the woman, which I'm not doing it now like that with a partner, but if I'm married, once I was married or whatever, and I had family or whatever, I'm the woman that can cook, I clean house, get my husband happy, take care of the kids, and then go to work and go to school and have a business. And it was able to do all those things. But sometimes when you're able to do that, it could be a little threatening to it could be a little threatening to the partner. Some might love it too much and go sit down and say, "Hey, you do all the work. Since you can do all the work and bring in all the money and you can handle it, let me go just kick my feet up." And you got those kind, and then you have the kind that are a prideful, especially man and woman. For me, when I was married, when I got a job, we were going to school, college, whatever. I got a job, and we both were going because we knew going to have to work now. Even though we're going to the University of Cincinnati, and this and that and other, and we both went out to get a job. And I so happened to come back with a job that made more money than he did, and he wasn't happy at all. So all these, you have all these type of different categories, these type of people. Where I'm thinking, okay, well, we're all bringing in, we're putting it together, we're gonna help each other. If he's lacking, I'm gonna pick up the slack. If she's lacking, in other words, we are working as a team. Let's say teamwork makes the dream work. But it was a little bit of jealousy going on. And I just kind of hurt my feelings. I said, "Wow," and actually had the nerve to tell me that he was mad and upset, hurting his pride because you making more money than me. So say, yeah, this is gonna allow this a relationship between me and my wife, me and my husband, we can get a chance to broaden everything. We're gonna work this out, and so we can obtain things together and this and that and other. In other words, everybody need to be on the same page, like mind, and with all these little situations of how people feel, you need to find those things out. Sometimes you don't find them out until right on the spot. What they call it, on the job training. It don't happen till it happens, and so you don't know. So maybe that's why I kind of like the idea of courting. People don't they don't I don't think court like that anymore. They set up a time for courtship so they can get a chance to know each other, so they can get familiar with each other, so they can find it. Because I'm telling you, eventually, if you're around long enough, it's gonna leak out. Little truths are
Right.
going to leak out that even if you don't even think about it or ask it, you're gonna start noticing the behavior. You're gonna start, if it's an attitude, you're gonna notice that. If there's something funny going on, you're gonna notice that. You know what I'm saying? So a little bit of time is good. Although some people get married in 3, 4 months, they married and the marriage still lasts. So who's to say? I'm
Right.
just
You
saying,
never.
yeah, it's
Yeah. You. Yeah. There's some really great stories of people that marry quickly or they marry young, and it worked. But a lot of times people say, that's kind of can be a recipe for disaster, but not always so. And if God ordained it, it's gonna work out and it's still gonna be a blessing. But yeah, I'm like, for me, I know there's books on dating and whatnot, but I know how you're saying you should ask all these deep questions, which I do believe you should ask. But first, I would like maybe a date or two just to see if I even like you, because I feel like I don't want to deep dive in with somebody that I don't even like at the end of the day, and I don't even want them to get that close to me into my personal space and my personal thoughts when I don't even like you as a person or I don't like spending time with you or we're not on the same page. So I think it's like a gradual progression where you ask these questions in the beginning and then, okay, if these questions are checked off and these things are clear, then, we'll go to those deeper questions. But, I think I need a book on this whole dating thing.
Where'd you want to buy that Steve Harvey book? I don't know. Uh, I would say I think I like the idea of have two different criterias for, because a lot of what I was talking about, it was kind of more like meeting leading to seriousness, courtship, possibly marriage, but then also have questions just to date, just for a regular date, because you still need to know who you with and be careful. Like you said, you may or may not. And I guess online, if you go online to find you meet up online for a date, you get an opportunity to interview that person. And I'm not really against that. Uh, at this time, that seems like one of the really most popular things, the ways that people get together now. And you get a chance to. I think if it's a safe way to talk to people, and you talk to them for a while and get to find out what they are. As a matter of fact, some people can really build probably a friendship um, if they're not rushing it. Build a little friendship, and I think being friends with somebody is a good start that might lead to something a little more serious. You know what I mean? Because you really need to be friends before you. If you say you love somebody, you need to like somebody first, and and learn how to be friendly. Like I noticed, if you know the definition of friends, friends care about each other. Friends will watch out for each other. If something goes on, they'll call you. You got a backup plan. And I learned this during in marriage that when I thought my husband was my friend and I thought everything went the same way, that's when I found out it didn't. Because I asked myself, "Why are you spending time with out there?" And then he said, "Well, those are my friends." And I said, "Well," and that got me. I said, "Oh, a wife is different than a friend to you." Oh, I see. So I think being starting from the beginning of getting to know each other and building a friendship might be, it could possibly be a good way that can be a lead in to even dating and then even getting more serious. Because now that friendship, it's nice to have a friend. A friend will be there for you. And some people don't compare husband and wife to friends. Every now and then you hear somebody with a marriage. Yeah, he's my best friend. I married my best friend. So now let's kind of say, okay, they went from friendship into a relationship into possibly into a marriage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that your spouse should take a higher position than your friends, but it's strange that some people feel that way and they have these different ideas about marriage, which is definitely something that you need to know about that person. So what is your ideal of marriage, and what would you want your marriage to be like once you get married? What roles would you like to take, and all of this is very important. And do they have a positive mindset when it comes to marriage, or does it sound like something that will burden them or stress them out when they're talking about it? You need to know all of those things about the person you're with, to see if you guys are on the same page. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna put a couple celebrities up here. Um, we have Neo at the right corner, and we have Ashanti and Nelly at the left corner. And I was fussing about Ashanti and Nelly because I think they used to date, and now she's gonna have his baby. And I think I did like a little short podcast episode saying, where's the ring, Nelly? You need to give her the ring. Um, cause she got back with him. She seems like she's trying to be a ride or die partner. I think she's in her 40s now. This is her first baby. And, they're just gonna, a lot of celebrities and people that they generally kind of skip the ring and just go for the life. But I felt like, hey, do something special for her, something that I really feel like that's the way it should go. Everybody may not agree, but I said get her the ring. So now the new story now is that he does have the ring and they're now engaged. So hopefully she walks down the aisle on their wedding day, but I think she's gonna have the baby first. But whatever the case, make her a missus. And I think that's still something special and something important. And I'm glad that he's actually gonna step up and do that. I think he's been I'm not sure if he's been married before, but I know he has, a baby mother, maybe a child, and then I think he adopted some children, which I think is really a great thing. But good news, she is engaged, and hopefully they walk down that aisle together and make it official. I think she deserves it. This is her first baby in her 40s and her first, um, I guess, relationship where she's gonna walk down the aisle. So hopefully that all works out. And then Neo, got some new information about him. Neo is an R&B singer. And for those that don't know about the other couple, Ashanti is an R&B singer and Nelly is a rapper. They were kind of more popular like in the early 2000s to 2010 era, but they're still known names in the music world. And then Neo, he's still doing stuff off and on. And come to find out, he's into polyamory. And I recently saw him on TMZ, and they showed him with his girlfriends. They looked like they were at some festival, and he's holding these two girls' hands while he's in the middle, and they're asking him questions about this lifestyle, and he's like, "Well, this is new for me too, so I'm just trying it out, and people should be able to do what they want with their life." And he recently comes from a marriage that failed. I think before that he had a baby mother, and he found out the kid wasn't his, and then he had another baby mother where that was his child. Then he gets married, and I think they had more than one child. That didn't work out. So now I guess all else fails, he wants to have this polyamory lifestyle, which was probably always his mindset in the first place, and this is probably why he ended up going down this in this direction. But just sharing a little bit of celebrity news when it comes to love, dating. This is kind of what the world is up to, and I kind of want to get your take on these stories, London.
Yeah, um, I have to be a TikToker, and I see a lot on TikTok. Actually, I learned a lot from TikTok, honestly. And there, I've seen another kind of an artist, and it seems like he's got a name, and I'm not gonna say his name because I right off the bat I can't remember his name, but he's got a few women in his house. He's got a gorgeous home, uh, in the pad or whatever you want to call it, mansion, and he's got a few women, and but he still talks about God and talk about religion. I'm going, okay, it is. But he's talking about what kind of woman he wants. She's got to have a brain. I don't. He said he didn't just want a woman just to be, intimate with more than each and every one of them, but he wants someone with, he wants all the bells and the whistles to a relationship out of each woman. Which I'm like, wow. So it's almost like a king. He feels like he's somebody's king, and he's ruling this his supposedly kingdom with all these different women. And then I saw the women with chat, they come on the line on TikTok, and they were just trying to find out what could they do so they can become his woman too. Well, he's an artist though. He's some type of artist. So I'm going like, wow. So it's like a lot of people are not having a problem with the poly relationship at all. And then also the women become friends with each other. So now you have poly, no telling whatever else they're gonna do what the guy wants. Is he wants to have all this integrated type of thing going on, but he's the man, he's the king, and that's what people do. And they actually are having their personal weddings, which it's not legalized, but they're still having weddings and everything. And I seen if you watch 90 Day Fiance, I believe, not 90 Day Fiance, but TLC on there, I saw um a couple on there. They're bringing a young girl in to their marriage, and so they're getting ready to get a wedding together where all three will get married. So I mean, this seems like a real popular thing for people. That people are doing that now. My take on it, I don't want to answer to God about none of that kind of thing. As a matter of fact, on my personal level, if I'm gonna be with somebody, I really don't want to share them with anybody else. And then also, I don't want to share me with nobody else too. And then I don't think we should be sharing all these sharing. There's too much sharing going on.
Right. That's a little that some things is off limits. Some things is just mine. The boy is
Yeah.
mine, and that's that's it. I'm not the one. I'm not about to be that other girl. I mean, it's a different setup now. Okay, so I think people feel it's better because okay, at least I'm being transparent, and she right here, and now we're all friends. Eh, but like it's better than just cheating and have one here, one there, one here. Like we could just all be together. I'm sorry, I'm not feeling that. Either way, I'm not feeling either one of those situations or circumstances. So I'm out on that.
The thing about it is, I'm sorry, the people that do swing and approve of these kind of things, they're in agreement at first, but sometimes those feelings get too deep, and the person that one of those people that's in that relationship might get kind of jealous and be hurt because they begin to see that, look, I just want him to myself now. He brought this new lady in and this other girl in, and I'm kind of not liking this because I really want it for myself. Some people do change, probably in the middle of the agreement of being able to have more than one partner like that. Now, the interesting thing is what I don't see, which they probably do. So far, when you say poly, it's usually what you kind of see a lot of is the man having several women. But I did see that on TLC too. There was a lady that was having two guys. They were having, so I guess and everybody's doing what they want to do. Some people dream of having all these partners so they can have, uh so it's just this thing can probably just go off the Richter scale of who is doing what with who. Uh kind of reminds me of what do you call it when you have people just or not an orgy, but when you have um men and women and they all doing it together. But that's I guess that's more of an orgy type thing. Because
Yeah, that's what that sound like a
poly
orgy.
is a continuous orgy, except it might be all women and the guy with a harem. And if he chooses to bring a guy in, he can. Or same thing with a woman. Either way, look at it. It's they are related, and it's a lot going on. And I think some people are excited to do those kind of things. And I have to say, I've met somebody, and I'm definitely not going to say who they are, but um, it's a minister. Uh, and I said, well, listen, let's go to breakfast over here and sat down. And I don't know what brought it up. I think I saw somebody I didn't want to see, and it was a man that was kind of, yeah, it wasn't not a friend, not a boyfriend or nothing I ever had, but I just knew that person, and I didn't want to be around. And then we sat down, and she said, I've been there and done that. And I'm like, well, what she talking about? Then she told me what happened to her. In a relationship, there was a man and a wife, or a husband and a wife that chose, and they were older than her. And they chose her to be their third wheel, their lover for the both of them. There's a lot of things that go on out there. That's been going on out there that probably we don't hear about a lot about now. But now it's just more open where people can talk about it.
Yeah, I think we're in a scary position, but I do think the transparency is better. I'm glad that we now can see everything that's out there, and then that also adds to our list of questions that we have to ask people when we start things out, because you don't want to walk into something and you find out that's what you're walking into, and you get your heart and everything connected into something that you really don't want to be a part of. But I'm not gonna say you're stuck. You can always walk away, but it's like it's more difficult to walk away once you invest your heart and everything into somebody, into a relationship, and then that you'll see something like that. So I do want us to close out, because I do want to repeat and replay this so you guys can check it out again. Um, I want to do one last poem. I do want to recognize the loss of Mandisa. She was an American Idol. She didn't win, but I think she was in ninth place in the first season. I think I'm right on that. She became a Christian artist, and she did some music with Toby Mac, which is like one of my favorite Christian artists. And I just wanted to recognize her. She struggled with her weight. She, was praying for a husband and all of these things in her life. But she had a beautiful voice. She had a beautiful spirit. She has passed on at the age of 47. I don't have the information of why and what happened to her, but I'm praying for all of her loved ones. And everyone is just praying at the loss of her and just remembering her and lifting her up at this time. And I just want to take a moment to remember her. And I'm going to close out with this poem, and then I'm going to have, Miss London share with us her final thoughts on tonight. But this poem is actually from the book Soul Fire, Prose of Passion and Peace. Shout out to my cousin Erica Streeter Hodge. And it's called Heartbreak is Heavy. Heartbreak is heavy. It feels heavier than earth itself sometimes. Most times it sits there in our chest, rotting away the person we believed we were. It takes on a personhood all its own, casting shadows and telling lies, waking us up with cold water, putting us to sleep with sad songs. Heartbreak changes us in the way we see the colors of rainbows. It hurts in ways like nothing else. It doesn't hurt because it erases the fond memories. No, it hurts because we can't forget them. That first smile and that last touch wrap themselves around us like a warm, deceased blanket. It seems the sickness will last through the next 5 lifetimes, but it doesn't. Love is bigger than that. Despite the scars, the pain of heartbreak doesn't last forever. But we, with our desire to be heavenly, and we, with our ways of loving, love, do. All right, rest in peace to Mandisa. And we're going to have our final words with Miss London. We have a couple minutes left. And I want to thank you guys for joining us with Date Chat. Email us there at licmc.netradio@gmail.com if you have any questions. If you want to join us for the next Date Chat, we can email you and let you know when we'll be having topics and if when you can come in and participate. And you can always drop a comment while you're watching as well. We'll put that on the screen also. But come in the room and chat with us. And thank you for joining us. And I'm going to leave it with Miss London.
Just don't give up. I believe that there's you can still find love, and love find you somewhere in life in time. Just don't give up and say a prayer, and enjoy your life.
Yes, thank you, Miss London. We do want to end it on a positive note. We had a couple of poems, that dealt with the frustration of love. But we want to remind you again that God is love and He is on your side and He will give you what you need. And enjoy your life, whether you're single, you're married, you're engaged, you're dating, you're somewhere in between. Enjoy your life. Have a blessed life. Know that God is with you, God is for you. And like Miss London said, don't give up the hope. Say that prayer and just live your best life. And that's all we can do. Thanks, guys, for joining us. And we'll chat with you again next time.